and so that they can give peer-to-peer support to each other. So they've left documentation, I leave up on the table as well. And also, Councillor Brazil left some information here to the cards in regards to suicide, contact numbers, etc. So I'll let Councillor Brazil talk to you there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank Sean for asking me here this evening to the Waterford Disability Network. I don't know why Sean picked me, because I'm just an ordinary individual, but I do have a huge passion and compassion for people that suffer from mental health issues and people and families that are bereaved by suicide. My family have suffered from mental health issues down through the years, so I do know a lot about mental health. Just imagine back in the 70s and 80s when people had mental health issues. I don't know whether it was a crime or whether it was a hidden thing or what. But most of these people were locked into buildings, big grey buildings, maybe red brick. And imagine putting a person that's depressed into these big cold buildings where you wouldn't put an animal into today. And even when you're in there, electric shocks, which was very sad. Family members left them locked in there. I've seen people inside in St. Otter's Hospital in Waterford. I won't say the privilege, I had been in there because my own family members had been in there, suffering from mental health issues. There were people there from my own parish of Cllr, which I never knew who they were. One day, when they came up to me, he said, "Liam, you're Liam Brazil." He said, I'm from Cllr. I went home that evening and I asked my parents, and they said, yes, that family had, that person suffered little from mental health issues, but not in CIs. But family is supposed maybe upmarket, maybe, I don't like to call them. Was a black mark on him, or disgrace, or didn't want this. It was easier just to push him away, take their home and sign in and leave him there. That's what mental health was back in the 70s and 80s. Has it improved a lot since? I don't think so. But look, we have to educate ourselves about mental health. Because everybody has it. I have it. Everybody in this room have it. But the facts show that 1 in 4 people can't handle their mental health. Just imagine in this room here today, there are probably 60 people here. There will be 45 of these people that could suffer from mental health issues down in the future. But it's so important to look after mental health every day of the week. Because look, if we have a dental or any physical or any other problem in our health, we can go freely to the dentist, and the dentist isn't a nice place to be going to. If you had a toothache in the morning there and you rang up the dentist, you probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks of a wait there, and you can't wait for them 3 weeks to come. And it isn't a nice experience for into a dentist. Well, it isn't for me anyway. I wouldn't like going in there. But why can't we talk freely about mental health the same way? Go to the doctor. Exercise. Go out and meet someone for a cup of tea. Just imagine you're walking down the street in the morning there, you're feeling maybe under the weather. Like myself today, I was awake yesterday maybe till 4 o'clock this morning. I wasn't looking forward to coming in here today. But because I had to come in, I told them, right, look at that, I've been there tomorrow, whatever happens at 2 o'clock. Because the hail, rain or snow, that's the passion and compassion that I have for what I do. But look, if you went that way, and if someone said to me this morning, Liam, we'll go for a cup of coffee, wouldn't I be delighted? But so if someone then that is depressed and feel they can't talk about that problem, because look, it's all about talking. If you talking about the problem. The problem is half straight away. Imagine 50% of the problem has gone away. If you seek help for it, there's 25% more of the problem. The 25% will always be with you, but you have to deal with that 25%. Go to the beach for a walk, go to town, go meet your friends for a cup of coffee, whatever it takes. It's, you know, look at it. For me, I suppose it's not that easy for the person that's suffering either. But look at the bury a loved one by suicide. It's probably the toughest and hardest thing that any family can ever do. You're standing at a graveside, and that coffin is being lowered to the grave. There's so many unanswered questions. Why? In my situation, James. Why James did you do it? Why, or how was I so naive not to see James suffer in silence? So badly to take his life by suicide. That was the 21st of April, 1987. And if I'm not mistaken, that's 34 years, 11 months and 2 days today. Just imagine if James had died in a car accident or cancer or heart. Would I be here in Dungarvan today talking about it? Imagine 34 years, 11 months and 2 days. That's the effect that suicide have on families. And I know James didn't want to die. He wanted to end the pain. The pain and the trauma that he was going through inside. Couldn't talk to anybody about his problems. So by taking his own life, he was going to end the pain. Yes, James did end the pain for himself. But the pain carries on out through the community, through the family. My mother died with a broken heart, probably 20 years later. She ended up in an institution. She couldn't. And it wasn't the fact what James did in 1987. So mortal sin, take life by suicide. Just imagine that. There were people, I know people in 86, they were being refused by priests to be buried in consecrated ground. And that was one of the fears that I had when James took his life in 87. That the priest might let him into the graveyard. But he was a good priest, and he said, he came and he said, no problem. He said, James will be buried in consecrated ground. But the pain lives on. It's only people that are bereaved by suicide will really know the effects that it has on people. When you go into a house after someone has taken their life by suicide, you can see the pain and the trauma. People asking questions. Why? How could this happen to our family? We never thought